Hey everybody, it's me Stacy here at Scrapbooking Made Simple, scrapbookingmadesimple.com, and it's time for our next Saturday with Stacy YouTube class number 418. The weirdest thing. I was bebopping right along and my camera literally shut down. I was moving right along, we were into it and we were having a great time, and my camera just stopped. The lens closed. And since I don't know how to edit, we're starting all over again. Oh well. Now, what do I have in store for you this week? Well, I have Ciao Bella, I have Clear Scraps, I have Creative Expressions, I have Sizzix, I have a whole lot of goodness wrapped up in technique. Yes, 3 of them. Oh my gosh, we are going to start out so simple that even if you have never crafted before, and this is the first crafting class you're ever watching ever, you are going to be able to do this. I promise you that. Then we're going to move into a little bit more difficult technique, but still, no problem. You're going to be able to do that. And then we're going to end up with, well, for those of you who like to take something from the start to the finish and it's all you you do every aspect of it, well, that's what we're going to end with, and it's going to be bam. I mean, amazing. So I am hopefully my camera doesn't shut down, but I'm so excited to share with you all of these things. And again, start simple, every level of crafter. Second technique, still any crafter. Any craft, even if you're not a crafter and you just want to be a little crafty, you want to dip your toe in, you're going to love this YouTube. And then at the end, well, that's going to take you to a place where you're like, I think I can do that. And I think you can too. Now, please remember that these are full-length classes. These are not demos, and they're not sped up or voice over. You see me, I see you. You watch everything I do, including all my flubs and mistakes. They're commercial free and they don't cost anything to watch, but they are lengthy. And you don't have to watch the whole thing all at once. You can certainly do it in chunks if that works better for you. But if you were visiting a local crafting store, assuming you still had one, and you were going to take a class, would you want it to be a 15 or 20 minute class? No, you'd be expecting, most classes are usually about 2 hours long. I know a typical class here at Scrapbooking Made Simple could be anywhere from 2 to 5 hours long here. And well, that's what this is. I don't monetize, so there's no commercials for you to have to wait for them to be done with. But we do ask that you subscribe to our channel right over here if you like what you see. We're excited to have you as part of the family, and it doesn't cost anything to be a subscriber. All it does is get me closer to 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. Woohoo! Now, normally I do winner chicken dinner, but we're having technical issues with software in pulling the winners. So I will announce on 419, YouTube 419, I will announce the winners from 417 and the winners from this YouTube. And how do you get to be a YouTube winner chicken dinner and get a $25 gift card? It's easy peasy. First, you have to be a subscriber. That's the most important thing, because you can't post a comment below if you are not subscribing. Now, if you're watching this during the premiere of our Saturday with Stacy classes, which is every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. sunny California time, 11 a.m. in New York, 4 p.m. in the United Kingdom. That's when we are live chatting. Hundreds of us live chatting on the side over here. That does not count for being a winner chicken dinner. You have to post below. And then every week we pick 2 winners. So we're glad to have you here. We're excited to have you here. It feels kind of weird because I have no winner chicken dinner to do, but I should tell you, okay, so last week's YouTube class, I'm up here upstairs, and this is our only office. This is all we have, and it's not even my office. My desk is downstairs in the store, right in the center of the store. Literally, my desk is right there. Anybody who's been here knows that you can just walk right on back and go like, oh, hey, Stacy, and there I am. But Mr. SMS, he's up here some of the time, and this is where I tape my YouTube classes. I usually come up here with my phone, my water, and my keys. And I thought I had done that last week. And I finished taping the class, and I turned everything off, and I was getting everything ready to go downstairs, because after I tape it, then I have to go and upload it to my computer and then download it to YouTube, which takes time. But I get everything ready, and then it's like, well, where are my keys? Where are my, I did not have my keys. Now, when I tape a YouTube class, I can be here up to about midnight. So I can be here as late as midnight. And so when the day is over, because I start long before then, we're still working. We're still here working. The girls will lock me in upstairs. They'll lock me in. So that way I don't have to worry about somebody, coming in or out, because I'm focused on teaching. And oh my gosh, I don't know which was worse. The thought of spending the night here, I think that actually might have been the easiest solution, or having to call Mr. SMS that late at night saying, honey, you know how much you love me? I'm so cute. I locked myself in. I had left my keys downstairs. So not only could I not get out of this building, I couldn't get into the shop either. So thank you, Michael, Mr. SMS, for coming and rescuing me, my hero, my Prince Charming, rescuing me from my tower up here. And thankfully, I was able to get everything loaded. I've been here in this building. I've been here, 16, 17 years. I have never done that. I don't know. I'm gonna be 50. I'm 53. I don't know. 53. Maybe that's saying something. It's starting to creep up on me. Anyway, I'm going to tilt on down for today. We are going to get started. Please stay tuned. If you think you ever want to do anything crafty, but you just don't have the confidence, I'm going to show you that you can do this, and hopefully give you a little chutzpah to go ahead and try. And if you try, I think you'll find wahoo kachoo. All right, I'm going to tilt down. We're going to get started for today. I'll see y'all later. Bye. Yep, locked myself in. Like I said, Mr. SMS, when I called him, he's like, yeah, because, it was late. I'm like, well, he says, are you on your way home? Not quite. Okay, let's start with a couple samples just to show you. Look at how cute is that, right? Isn't that darling? So this is using the dies I showed you last week from Couture Creations. We're going to leave them up this week because the girls used them for a lot of the samples. They are in love with these dies from Ozzy Andrew. And I'll show them to you at the end, but my gosh, for $8 what you get, it is a holy smokes artichokes. And then we've got rice paper from Ciao Bella. So easy peasy. We're going to start easy peasy. But then we're going to get a little more wahoo kachoo. Look at that. This is an exclusive shaker by Clear Scraps. Doesn't take anything to put them together. A little bit of glue and that's it. No die cutting. Everything is done for you. Really simple and beautiful and effective. And then somebody can take it off the card and you can have a magnet, and they can make a magnet for their refrigerator after, once they're ready to let the card go. But I mean, is that gorgeous? Again, done with rice paper from Ciao Bella. And then the last technique I have for you, well, I'll show you those samples in a little bit. So I think we're going to get started for today. The first thing I'm going to talk to you about is rice paper, and I'm going to pull some rice paper over. What is rice paper? Well, it kind of feels like a mulberry paper. It will tear, but yet it's fibrous. It is delicate, but not. I mean, it's definitely got some strength to it, and you can see the little fibers running through it very much like a mulberry paper. This is all from Ciao Bella, and I mean, they absolutely do pretty without question. but they also do really great guy rice paper. We've got some really great guy styles for you. And you may have never known what to do with rice paper. And I'm excited to show you how easy it is to use. And we're going to use it, I think, at least on the first two techniques and perhaps on all three. But you get a lot, you can do a lot with rice paper with having very little skill. Really, very little skill. And I think that's where I'm going to start today. I'm going to start maybe with these two sheets, because I might do two at the same time. Maybe, you know what? Maybe I'm going to grab, I wonder, do I have any of that left over here? Hold on. I do. I have a whole nother piece. Okay, so I'm going to start with these two, and then I'm going to move to that one. So I'm going to do two of the exact same card so that you can see the difference. Let's do this one. I love the purple one. It's so pretty. So rice paper, easy peasy to cut. No problem. And let me cut this piece out right here. It does not generally work awesome with a trimmer. Rice paper does not. And that's because it's fibrous. So you will need to just trim out with your scissors. I think you'll probably find that a little bit easier. Okay. All right, so I'm going to do two cards at the exact same time, so you'll be able to see the difference. There we go. Now, the first thing about rice paper is that you want to fray the edges. You can certainly trim it out and mat it. Grab that one. You could absolutely, if you prefer to, just because the paper's so darn pretty, if you wanted to just trim it out and then tape it down and mat it. I mean, you could do that, absolutely. I want to take it a little bit more than that. I want to fray those edges. And I'm going to show you the easiest way to fray those edges. First thing you're going to need is just an inexpensive paintbrush and some water. Now, I have learned over years and years of doing this that I do not do well with putting water in a little cup. I tend to spill it all over. Oh, they're coming. It must be almost time to lock up because I think they're coming to lock me in. And yes, I have my keys, so I'm good this week. So I'm going to take a little bit of water and just spray it. Just make a little puddle right there. And then I'm going to take my paintbrush with water, and I'm just going to go along the edges. And I'm just going to put some water right along the edges. Not too hard. Even on that edge that I came so close to when I cut it. Just get some water on there. And on the top. So as long as you've got some water on your edges, what that's going to do is loosen up the fibers to the rice paper. You don't need anything else but water. And then it allows you to start to pull. So I'm tearing it, and it's leaving these little wispy edges. Little wispy edges, which is what we're going for. We want pretty little wispy edges. And you just tear. So the only scissors I used was to get it cut out of the main sheet. Other than that, I just want to pull and tear and get those little wispy edges going. And if it dries and it's a little tough to tear, just add a little more water. They almost look like the wispy edges are almost like a stuffed animal, almost like a bear. The wispy edges of a really cute stuffed animal, a little bear or something. They're just soft and delicate, and that's part of the fibrous paper that gives you that beautiful, soft, little wispy edges. So since I'm going to do both at the same time, I'm going to do this one really quick. So I'm just going to go right there, get some water on it. Right there, get some water on it. Right there, get some water on it. And when the water dries, you don't even know you had any water on it. And then I can just start to tear it apart and get those wispy edges. Okay, and let's get this one. And over here. And I can pull, just pull. And I don't want them to be exact. I don't want it to be a total straight line. I want to have some kind of highs and some lows. See, it's a little tough to pull there, so I'm just going to add a little bit more water and let that water loosen up those fibers so I can tear it. And bam, done. I've got both of them done. So 2 pieces of the exact same paper, rice paper, and I want you to see, hopefully you can see the fibers coming out of it. There's fibers that are holding that paper together, and that water just loosens the fibers and allows you the opportunity to tear it, but it's also what makes it difficult to cut with a trimmer. Now, let's see. I'm going to take, let's find paper for these. Let's find paper. Well, that's pretty. Let's see. We have a preference, light or dark? Or should we not even do purple? Let's see. Ooh, that's a pretty shade. What's this? That's pretty too. I don't know. I want to do them both out of the same paper. I think I'm going to do the dark purple. No, maybe I'll do the green. Okay, we're going to move to the green. And I want to do them both out of the same paper so you can see the difference of what I'm doing. So I'm just going to take this sheet of paper and cut it right in half. I'm just using Sizzix cardstock. It's 80-pound paper. Now, the first one, I'm going to use what's called Nori Paste. This is from Yasutomo. It is kind of a starched-based medium. It is meant for more delicate type paper, which is what rice paper would be considered. And it is an adhesive. It's an adhesive that dries completely matte when you're finished. And it has the idea behind Nori Paste is that it doesn't dry like that. It takes a little bit of time to dry, but because of the way it's manufactured and the way the chemical compound of it, which is more of a pasty, starchy based product, it allows you to peel back up your delicate paper or your rice paper if you need to reposition it. Anybody who's ever worked with rice paper knows that sometimes once it's down, it's almost impossible to get it back up. Nori Paste is meant for just that purpose. It is meant for you to be able to reposition delicate paper. It will say on here that it needs to be refrigerated. I have contacted Yasutomo. It does not need to be refrigerated. I think that has to do with perhaps getting it here, or I have no idea. But We have been using it, we have been loving it, and it doesn't need to be refrigerated. When I open it up, oh, I'm going to open up this one first. Let me open this because it's got that little weird thing. When I open it up, this is kind of what it looks like. And it's got this little almost like a wax paper piece on top of it. You're not going to be able to save that. You're not. Just toss it, let it go, be done with it. I haven't found Nori Paste to dry up. And again, it's water soluble, it's easy to use, and it's definitely a different type of adhesive than we have ever had. It comes from the fine art market is where this actually comes from. And it's not expensive, and it lasts. I mean, a little goes a long way. So sometimes you find the most amazing products outside of paper crafting. This is a fine art product, but that doesn't mean you have to be a fine artist. It just means that the quality of the product is that would be used by somebody who wants to do fine art. Well, heck, I want the best quality product too, right? And sometimes when you find something outside the paper crafting world, the price is so much better because it doesn't say scrapbooking on it or card making on it. So I'm going to take my Nori Paste, and I'm just going to use a little bit on my finger. You can use, I don't know that I would really use a paintbrush, but I'm just going to kind of put it there, and I'm just going to do the edges. Just the edges of my rice paper. And that's going to glue it down and cement it down. I don't have to do the entire back if I don't want to. If I really wanted to, I could do the entire back, but it's not necessary. You can do the edges and that will be enough. And you can see it drying, and it dries to a matte finish so that you don't even know it's there. Is it kind of like a Mod Podge? Yes, I would say it is very much like a Mod Podge, only this lets you reposition. If you need to pull it back up, if you need to move it, you've got time to do that, where a Mod Podge tends to be a little heavier. So I'm just taking my Nori Paste and I'm just doing my edges. That's all I'm working with, not putting it underneath the whole thing. And I'm just putting my finger right into it, and it's taking those beautiful wispy edges and cementing them down. Okay, so I'm going to let that dry. And as it dries, you can kind of see it's kind of wet around it. As it dries, it's going to dry to, the paper is going to become just like it was. You're never even going to notice that the Nori Paste is on there. But easy peasy in getting my rice paper down. I mean, it doesn't get much easier than that. Then I'm going to trim it out, mat it, and for all intents and purposes, a card is made. An embellishment for your layout is made. A page for your altered art or your junk journal or your mini album is made. Rice paper is just that fast and just that simple, and it is so beautiful. But I told you I'm going to do two at the exact same time, and I am. I want you to see the difference. And for you, there may be no difference at all. I tend to be very A-type personality. Hello, Stacy, A-type personality. So for me, doing this next step is kind of important. Because I am putting this on a colored cardstock. Rice paper, it's not transparent, and it's not totally translucent, but you can see through it a little bit. You can get tone through it a little bit. And I want those colors to be as bright. So you can see the color of my hand underneath it, and then I move my hand away. You can see that. I want those colors to be as bright as possible. So what am I gonna do? Super easy. I'm gonna take a little bit of my Sizzix white acrylic paint. Okay, Sizzix makes a beautiful creamy acrylic paint. It's affordable, cost-effective, goes a really, really long way, and it's got the Sizzix brand name on it, so you know the quality is amazing. They don't put anything. What is it? They don't put out a wine before it's time. Who was that? Well, that's the same with Sizzix. And how do I know that that's true? Well, we're still waiting on the switch machine, because until they are 100% confident in it, it is what it is. They're going to keep working on it until they're sure. And I think the switch machine is now scheduled for 2022. So I would rather have a manufacturer hold off and put something out fabulous than rush something to market. And Sizzix definitely didn't rush their paint to market. It's beautiful. So I'm going to, and affordable. I'm going to turn my paper upside down. I don't want any nori paste on there. So turn my rice paper upside down. It's okay if it gets a little wet, no big deal. And I'm going to take some of my white paint. And I'm just going to take that white paint, and in no particular, I don't want it to be exact. I don't want a square. I don't want an oval. I don't want to see edges. I just want to put it on there and kind of move it around. And I don't want to, I'm going to blend it, kind of blend it on out, because I don't want a hard edge anywhere. I want to keep it soft and simple. Now it's going to seep through just a little bit, but I'm going to bring my paper over and I'm going to put it down. And that paint is also going to adhere it to my paper. Okay, let me wipe that off. And I didn't put the paint everywhere. I mean, I still have edges that are up. I could put a little more under there if I wanted to make sure that that is as bright as it can be. A little bit of white. All I'm doing is backing it in white so that the tone of my paper does not come through. Now, I don't know if you can see the difference. I can see the difference, but I don't know if the camera can see the difference. This one is straight to paper. This one is not. It's backed with a little bit of white paint. To me, this one is a little bit brighter, a little bit happier. Those colors come through a little bit stronger because it's not picking up the tone of this paper. So let's get some nori paste, because I got to cement those edges down. Yeah. Okay. Lid on, lid off. All right, so a little bit of nori paste. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to cement those edges. And that paint, the white paint from Sizzix, is holding it down. Do you have to use Sizzix paint? No, you don't. If you've got white acrylic paint from time gone by, that's all you need. I mean, Sizzix makes a great product, and if you don't have any, I'm sure that they would greatly appreciate you supporting them and buying theirs. But if you've got white paint, by all means, use it. And if your local craft store has a white acrylic paint, go visit them and buy theirs and use theirs. I just want you to see the difference. Wipe my fingers. I'm hoping that you can see the difference between the two. Backed in white, not backed in white. And then I can trim it out. Still a little wet, but that's okay. And of course I could have made this to any size card that I'm doing, or page that I'm working on. You'll see in the samples the girls have done everything from 5 by 7 all the way down. Okay. I think that looks pretty good. And then let's trim out this one. Again, it's still a little wet. My nori paste has not quite dried all the way because it definitely gives you time to reposition. But it also doesn't take an hour to dry. I don't want you to think that either. Okay, and then maybe we can take a little bit of purple. And let me just put this one down real quick and then I'll do the other one. This I'm just going to put down with some Stacy tape. Stacy tape is a double-sided adhesive. You would do a better job than I'm going to do in getting it down. I just want to be able to get it there so you can see it. Yes, I know my tape is a little bit longer than I need. I can either tear it, or because it's double stick tape, I can just fold it right back in onto itself and not worry about it. Okay, one, and then let's do the other one so that we're fair in our judgment of them. Quick cut, and then let's get it on down, and then I'll cut that final edge off. So let's go ahead and let's tape this one down too. And then you can see whether you think it needs the extra white, or you agree, or you think, no, I'm happy just the way it is. My goal is to just make sure. Now you're saying, why didn't you use white paper, Stacy? Couldn't I just back it with white paper and then put it on? Well, yes and no. Oh, no, Stacy tape. Come on, there we go. Yes and no. Let me get this on and I'll show you what I mean. Okay. Not the best hand trimming, but it'll do for now. It'll do for now. Okay, so can you see the difference? If you can, great, and if you can't, then you all think I'm crazy. And that could be, but I can see that this to me is brighter than over here. That this is brighter than over here. And now that my nori paste is all done and cemented, nothing's moving anywhere. So let's talk about white paper for a minute. Let me see if I can grab a sheet of white paper. Do I have some in here? No, how about in here? Let me grab a sheet of white paper. All right. So if I were to take a piece of white paper, and let's just trim this down a little bit. Because I don't want to use paint to back it. Unless you do the entire piece. Unless you do the entire piece. Like this one, I didn't do those pretty edges, the soft and wispy edges. If you just cut your rice paper and then you cut a piece of white paper and you back the entire thing, you'll be fine. But if you're just doing a small piece to get this white, you can see where the white stops. And obviously if you're doing a wispy edge, you couldn't use the white paper either because your white paper is not going to have wispy edges. It would be very hard because you'd see, remember I said I didn't want that line there. I didn't want, that's why I put when I put the paint on the back, I kind of moved it out and there was no straight or hard line anywhere. And that's what you're going to get with white paper unless you just cut your rice paper with scissors and don't have that wispy line look to it, which I think is inherent to rice paper. It's so beautiful when you do that and you have that lovely wispy line to it. But maybe for a guy card, maybe that isn't what you want. Maybe for a guy card you want a hard edge. And let's take this one. And we'll just trim this one right on out. So I like the sheets that give you, if you're wanting to do cards, they give you 4 different images. And gosh, out of one sheet of paper, 4 cards, do them up, put a ribbon around them, and give them as a gift to somebody so that they can send cards to somebody else. Talk about a quick and easy hostess gift or a thank you gift or a welcome to your new home gift. And then they can use them for sending cards out. Now this, I might not want wispy edges. Let's do one with and one without. That way then we'll do them. We'll do them so that they're both going in the same direction. And guy cards can be hard to come by. Having a sheet of paper or a couple sheets of paper that are guy related, where you can just knock one out real quick, that's kind of nice. Okay, so I'm going to do one wispy edged. Get my water. Best spray bottle ever. If you don't, I rarely say this, I really do, but if you don't own a Couture Creations spray bottle, you are missing out. It is the best. It's their turbo sprayer. And ever since Ozzy Andrew sent it to me and said, try this, I won't use anything else. It just is awesome. So I'm just adding water to my edges. And I'm going to wispy edge this one. If it's a little hard to pull, just add a little more water. Once the rice paper dries, it's fine. The water isn't going to hurt it at all. Of course, I just took part of the words, but shh. It's distressed. And my last edge. Okay, so I've got one wispy edged and one not. And then let's pick some paper for it. I think that blue is okay. You think that blue is okay? Should be a different blue, a lighter blue, a brighter blue? Or maybe how about a gray? Gray? All right, we'll go with gray. And I'm just going to cut my sheet in half. And this one I'm going to back with some white paper. So I can cut my paper a little short so that you don't see it, but not so short that you're going to see a really strong demarcation line. That looks pretty good. All right, let's tape it down. I'm just going to throw some Stacy tape down on it real quick just so we can get it down so you can see. There's one. There's two. Because I'm not having that wispy edge, I really don't need the nori. All right, done. We'll mount it on here real quick so you can see, and then we'll do the other. Just so you have a compare contrast. I think it's important to be able to see a compare contrast when playing with this, because all of you are going to have a different thought process. Yes, you like it white backed. No, you don't like it white backed. You're going to have a completely different way of looking at it than perhaps me. Well, that was not perfect by any means, but done is good. All right, so there's our white backed. Now let's just quickly put this one down with some nori paste so we can see the difference. Just on the edges, that's all I'm doing, is on those soft edges, those fibrous edges that I pulled. I'm just using my finger. If you really need to, you can use a paintbrush. This is just easy and fast for me. Or you could use a little dauber finger if you wanted. And then after this, we're going to move on. All right, I think think I've got it pretty much down. Now, normally you would wait for it to dry. Absolutely. I'm going to go ahead and cut so I can get it taped down and you can see the difference. All right. A little wet, but that's okay. Let's see if you can see the difference between the two. Okay, white backed, not white backed. Which do you like better? This has got the little edges, the soft edges, which you could then not put a white piece of paper behind it because you'd end up seeing that demarcation line all the way around it. You could take your white paint and am I going to get it? My nails are not going to get it up. You could take your white paint and pull up your paper and put your white paint below it so that you have a white back. But can you see the difference? Is it enough of a difference for you to make it worthwhile? If you're just doing straight cuts, go ahead and just use a piece of white paper and go for it. If you're using the soft edges, go back and white back it with the paint. Painted, not painted. White backed with cardstock, not white backed with cardstock. Your choice. You get to choose. You may love this one for this time, and you may love white backed for this one this time. It just depends upon what look you're trying to achieve. But you can get a more vibrant look from the rice paper if you white back it. Okay, let me put these over here and let's move on. So the next thing we're going to talk about is Clear Scraps. Clear Scraps does shakers, and they do shakers easy peasy. In their little shaker kit comes a top, comes a piece of acrylic, which has a coating on it that you will need to pull off the top and the bottom so that you will get clear. It has 2 more pieces that are spacers for the depth, and it has a backing. So the idea is that you can take your backing, add 1 spacer, add your acrylic, add a top, and you're done. Your shaker's made. But what if you want more dimension, or you want to make sure that your shakers, your little doodads, have plenty of room to shake? That's why they give you a second one. So you can stack it right on top and raise the channel inside. So I'm here, it's not as deep. It's going to be a little hard if I have thicker little sequins and doodads. But if I add 1 more, then I've doubled the depth. And now it's much easier for my shakers to shake. I still have the acrylic, and I still have the top piece to finish it off. All of their shakers come that way. And the oval and the tag are exclusive to Scrapbooking Made Simple. These are exclusive to us, the only place you're going to find them. They did launch new ones, so they have really cute, look at how cute is that. They did launch new shapes, really darling. Simple, basic, easy. Love them. And the reason for this one and this one and this one, the reason for these 3, the reason they are the way they are, the size they are, is because you know how Simple Stories and a few other paper companies make the paper in like the 4x3s, and you on a 12x12 sheet, there's different 4x3 blocks that you can cut out. These were made so you could just trim those out and put those in and have instant backgrounds. They're meant to go with the 12x12 sheets made by manufacturers that as part of the collection, it's got different images in this size on that sheet where you just trim them out, put them down, and away you go. But today, no, today we have to be more than that, right? We do, we have to be more than that. But we don't have to be so difficult that it is hard for you. Now, what do I want to use on this one? What would make my heart happy? We want to stick with the dragonfly. Oh, that's very pretty. Oh, that's pretty too. I don't know. That's kind of like the Tim Holtz dragonfly perspective, right? Okay, I think I'm going to cut that dragonfly out, and we're going to use that dragonfly. Just make sure I get it high enough and low enough. So this is a piece of rice paper where I'm going to take a portion of it out. I still can use the rest of the rice paper for something else without question. Okay, so I've cut my dragonfly. Now I'm going to take my backing and I'm going to white back this. In fact, I can trim this down just a little bit. I'm going to raise him up because I want him a little higher. And I can get rid of some of this. Turn it over. I could kind of trim the edges down if I wanted. I just want to make sure that's where I'm happy. Pretty. Okay, so I'm just going to trim it down just a little bit. All right, so there's my base, and I'm gonna white back it because I really want that dragonfly to pop. And maybe I might even take a little bit of this one. I think we'd like that leaf. Or do we want something with some color in it? Gosh, I hate to keep cutting into it. And I don't want anything too big. Well, I'm going to try with that leaf, and we're just going to see what it looks like, right? It's only paper. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put some white on my chipboard. And I don't care if it's beautiful and if the white is 100% covered everywhere. If you can see my finger lines through it, I'm okay with that. I just want it to be white. It's not perfect, no, but nobody's gonna see that, so I don't care. Because I'm gonna take and put him right on top. Bam, right on top. Now I can trim out the rest of mine, or I can take some Nori paste and easy peasy mac and cheesy. And start laying that Nori paste down. And with the rice paper, it will just kind of fold over and cement itself into place. Put a little bit. I could have done a wispy. Well, I'm going to do a wispy on that So I just want to fold this over so I have a nice clean edge. You're not into fussy cutting to try and get that a nice clean edge? Don't try. Let it be. Just like a Mod Podge, just fold it right over and let it be. Look at how pretty is that. The white backed makes it pop. Totally makes it pop. Now, what if we took this piece? What if we took this piece and we edged this piece? So let me put my Nori Paste back away. And let's take a little bit of water. And let's put some water kind of around the design. And then let's kind of soft edge it out. Don't want any hard lines. I want that wispy kind of look to it. If it's not tearing easy, add some more water. So now I'm just taking an element from that rice paper. Not even a focal point, but an element. And then I can decide where I want it to be. Do I want it to be there? Do I want to line it up over here? Do I just want a little bit at the top? Just to add a little color at the top. If that's the case, no problem. Grab my Nori Paste. And just do my edges. And because we did that super soft edge, it almost disappears right into the design. Now I can take this and trim off some of my back. And then Nori Paste that right into place. And I took a portion of rice paper, but look at it, it disappears. The lines melt into each other. You don't even see them. Gosh, I could take this little piece here, this little grunge piece here that there's like nothing left of. Little piece I trimmed off. What if I put that there? It's Nori pasted into place. Cut that little piece off. Zoop. Put a little Nori Paste on that and fold it over. And look at that. That was a little scrap of nothing and it fit perfect right there, right? Look at how beautiful is that. Okay, now what are we going to do with it? Well, we've got to finish. That was the hardest part of all of it. Of all of this, that was it. That's what took the most time. You know what I think I'm gonna do? while I'm here and while I've got the tag out, because it's out, if I just do that one. So I'm going to cut this piece out. I still have all of this to use. I still have all of this to use. I'm gonna cut this on out. And then I can decide where I think I want it to be, which I think is pretty much right like that. Only there it is without white backed. And it's pretty, absolutely. You can do it without question. But if you just use a little bit of white, that's really where it will allow the rice paper to pop. And any white paint, what do you have? You don't want to use a glue that's going to go transparent. That's going to defeat the purpose. But if you've got a white glue that stays white, sure, you could use that. I'm just using the paint as a glue, and I'm not doing a great job getting it down there. That's for sure. All I care about is that it's there. And then I want to Is that where it's going to make my heart happy? I think it is. Down. I can trim out the back a little bit if I want. I'm still going to nori paste it on down. Okay, nori paste. I'm just going to run a bead of nori paste just with my finger all the way around. I run kind of a bead right there, and then fold it up. And then run a bead there. And fold it up. Okay, so this was the hardest part of making the shaker. How pretty is that? These could be great luggage tags. Oh my gosh. Or bookmarks. Holy smokes. But we're not done. Wait, we're not done. Well, now we have to finish. Let me wipe my hands. Wipe off my workspace. Put my lid on my paint. And now we'll go ahead and we'll finish. So, what color do we want? Well, what color do we want for the fronts? What color paint do I want for my fronts? Do I want to use yellow? You think that would be too yellow? So I can try this on any one of them to see if I like it, because if I don't, I just bury it inside the shaker so nobody sees it. That's kind of pretty. What do I want to do for, ooh, this one's kind of pretty. Ooh, love that color. Oh yeah, love. Okay, so those are the two colors I'm going to use. So I'm just going to finish both of these and use these as my tops. So a little bit of paint on my finger. You are absolutely, can grab your paintbrush if you are not into doing it with your fingers. I am all about using my fingers. And I'm just taking one of the ovals and painting it the color that makes my heart happy. All right. That looks good. I'm going to let that dry for a minute. Bring over the tag and let's do the yellow. Let's get the green off my hands. And you're like, see, this is where a paintbrush would be good. I know, but so is a wet wipe. Let's get the yellow done. Such a pretty yellow. Kind of a goldenroddy. Not a sunshine yellow. What do they call it? Probably yellow. Oh, mango tango. All right, I can see mango in here. All right, are we good? I say we give it a minute to dry. And then if it needs an extra coat, we'll do that. So let me put that one in there to let it dry. All right, and then we've got the back. What do we want to do with the backs? Do I want to do them the same color? I could. Do I want to do them a metallic? I could. How about we do this one with a copper? So they have a, it's called rose gold. I don't know if it's really rose gold or not. Looks a little coppery to me, but hey. I'm just going to paint the whole thing. Ooh. Well, it's a very pretty color. I just don't know that it's rose gold. But, tomato, tomato. Okay, done. I'm going to let that dry. So that's on the back side of that. Oh, and I got my finger in it. Oh, well. So I'm going to let that dry. And let's do, how about gold? For the back of this one. So why am I doing the backs? Because you're going to see the back. Now you may not, if you mount this onto a card or you're going to make a magnet out of it, you might not want to paint the back at all because, well, you may make a magnet out of it. But I think it finishes it off. Okay, let's let that dry. So, wipe my hands down. And we'll move on to building. Lid. Okay, so I've got my 1, my 2, and my 3, and my 4. All right. Let's grab this one. That paint is dry. Doesn't take long. I got a little bit there though. Can I get it? I don't know if I can get it off. Well, okay. If you can't beat them, join them. Right? I don't even know if you're going to see it, but if you can't beat them, join them. Done. Poof. Happy accident. So I've got my back layer. Now I'm going to put my two tops on. And how am I going to adhere those? Well, are you ready for this? Are you ready? Sticky dots. Say what? Yep, I'm going to use sticky dots. What are sticky dots? Sticky dots are an adhesive sheet that has literally hundreds of thousands of micro dots that are adhesive. They're strong, they're great, they last forever. You get 10 sheets. These are 8 by 10 sheets for $9.99, so $1 a sheet. I brought them out, they're mine, they're simply defined, so you can't get them anywhere else. I brought them out specifically for intricate dies, because if you want to be able to glue down an intricate die fast, well, this is the easiest way to go. I'm going to put my oval there, I'm going to close it up, I'm going to give a hard press. And what that's going to do is transfer the dots onto my oval. And then all I have to do is line that up. Oh, look at it wouldn't have even showed. All I have to do is line that up here and put it in place. Now I can take my second one and put it down, and anywhere that the sticky dots are, so if the oval is right here, all the sticky dots that are in the middle are going to stay on the sheet of paper. The only sticky dots that are going to pull are right here for the oval. So can you use liquid glue? Sure, you can use liquid glue. Absolutely. I just don't have the patience for it. I can see that my dots are on there. I'm happy with that. And I'm gonna stick it on down. And now it's up to me. Do I want to add little jewels and blings? Do I not want to add little jewels and blings? But now's the time, and you want to make sure that your inside is not sticky. So you may even take a little bit of powder and just rub it along the inside, because you don't want your sequins or whatever you're using to move around. I've got, the girls brought me up some sequins. I got some of these. You guys probably have doodads aplenty. Maybe some of those. And how about a few of these just for good measure? Okay, so I've got the bling that I've chosen. Now I'm going to, and I should have done this, darn it. See, this is where the no editing comes in. I'm going to put that bling on here for a minute. Because I have to do my acrylic. So I've got to pull the acrylic off both sides, the liner. There's a coating on both sides that you need to peel off. Okay, so there's one side, and you can see that you've now got this beautiful crystal clear high gloss on that side. And now I'm going to do this side. And there we go. So look at, can you see the difference? Look at how crystal clear that is. You've got to pull the coating off both sides. and it's perfect. Now, I took my bling out for a reason. I took my bling out because I need to add sticky dots here. So I'm just going to take this, open up my sticky dots, put that down, give a good press, and anywhere here it's going to hold. I'm going to get my sticky dots. Oh yeah, look at that. I don't know if you can see all those dots on there. Now I'm gonna put my bling back in. Now I want my bling to be in there. And then I'm gonna put my clear acrylic right over the top. Oh, look at how cute! Love, love, love. And then the last thing I'm going to do is sticky dot that in place. Super cute, right? Okay, easy peasy mac and cheesy. So open up my sticky dots again and put it down. How long do sticky dots last? I don't know. How much are you how big of a piece are you using? Are you pulling them all up at one time? If I took a piece like this of paper and put it down and pulled this back up, well, all the sticky dots in this area would be gone. They'd all be on the back of the paper. So it just depends upon what you're doing. But I have been told by some of the very best out there that sticky dots are a game changer, especially when doing intricate dies. What do you think? So easy, so pretty. And then I can come back in and take my copper, and I could certainly go, or I could take my what color are they calling this? Agave? Okay. See, but then maybe I should use the copper. But you know what? It is what it is. But then I could go back in and add whatever color I wanted and cover up my sides, just so it looks finished. Because you want to finish, you don't want to go through all of that, which really wasn't much at all. Look at how pretty is that. Oh, I love it. Okay, so I'm gonna put this aside and I'm gonna clean my hands real quick. This one's almost dry. And put my lid back on, and then let's just do my yellow one real quick because it's already done. So, sticky dots. I need to poke my hole. Oh, I didn't poke my hole. Poke my hole in my tag because my tag's got a hole. So now I've got my hole in my tag. Oops. And sticky dot one. Now, so far, there's nothing I've shown you that you can't do. You don't have to have any special tools. Sticky dot two. I didn't use anything that was out of reach for anybody. If you don't want to use rice paper, let's say you're on a budget, go find some really pretty napkins. Although I'll tell you, sometimes the napkins can cost as much as the rice paper. But sure, you can try this with napkins. You already have paint? Awesome. You already have little sequins? Great. Okay, now I need to take the acrylic, the liner off. So I get that really pretty high gloss window. Oh, I just got my fingers on it. Okay, now I take my piece, put it down, give a really good press. Pull it up. Decide if, or maybe I don't want to put any, maybe that's just too pretty to put any kind of shaker in. Oh, yeah. Put my acrylic on it. Down it goes. Maybe I don't want any, maybe I want to make this a bookmark for somebody and I don't want it to have shaker pieces. Last thing I do, oh, it really does need one more coat. But okay, we're just going to go for it. Bam, done. No shaker. Shaker, no shaker. Shaker, no shaker. Oh, I stuck them together. They weren't dry. Well, then don't put them on top of each other when you do this. Ooh. Okay. Not white backed. White backed. White backed. Not white backed. I saved it. Look, it's saved. You have options. Rice paper, shakers, cards, easy peasy. But now we're going to go one step further. And this is when I bring out the dies from Creative Expressions. So these are by Jamie Rogers, and he does, these are dimensional dies. There's 5 new ones, and these are the larger. So you'll see what size this makes, and I have samples of all of these. These are the larger. These will absolutely go through your Cuttlebug, your Big Shot, your Big Kick, your Vagabond, your Express, your Platinum, your Grand Caliber, your Gemini. They're not very wide. You'll be able to get these through all of those machines. A Sidekick, no, they're too wide for that. But he already launched several smaller versions, and these are the larger. The larger come with the word in the center. The smaller do not. I will have both of them for you as a YouTube Yummy, but the I Want It All will be for the 5 brand new releases. Okay, so you've got 5 different shapes. The smaller ones are less expensive, but don't have the words and aren't obviously as big. Let me see if I've got, just to give you a comparison. Oh yeah, this will be good. Okay, so this is an original, one of the originals that he did from, I don't know if it was last year or earlier this year. Let's see if I can get it out. But this will give you a good compare and contrast. Come on, there we go. Okay, this will give you a good compare and contrast. This is the original size. I want to say they retail for about $15. This is the new size that retails for, I think, $22. So that'll give you an idea. Small, original, large, new, and all of the large ones come with a word. So let me play with this one and let me show you how it works. So you do get 3 nesting dies that are going to fit right inside there. So if you're going to lay your paper in there, great. But this is a dimensional die. So let's grab some paper so that you can see the difference. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to die cut this. I'm going to bring my Big Shot machine over. I'm going to use the platforms that the machine comes with. So I've got my base platform and my solo shim. If you buy a machine recently, this is what it's going to come with. They no longer include the hinged platform. You can still purchase it, but it is a separate purchase. I'm not going to use my magnetic platform because I'm cutting cardstock. So it doesn't matter that it be held in place. I'm not concerned. If I was stamping and die cutting, I would want to use my magnetic platform, but I'm not doing that here. I'm going to put down my cut plate, and you will receive 2 clear plates with your machine. One you use as a cut plate, and what I mean by a cut plate is, well, it's been cut into. And that's what these are meant for. They're not meant to stay pristine acrylic the entire time. The die has to bite into something to cut that paper because you're asking this little die with these little edges to cut into paper. There is no blade on it. There's no blade at all. It's these little edges that are going to cut into that paper. So you're going to put your first cut plate down. You're going to put your paper, your die, and then a do not cut plate. And you can certainly use the second cut plate that they send you as a do not cut plate. And why do you want, they don't call it a do not cut plate, I do. And that's because you want a plate that you don't cut into. You try as hard as possible not to cut into it, because every time you cut into these plates, every time you cut into them, it leaves a little mark, and after time, it's going to start to warp. The cut is making a V cut, and it will just start to slowly warp your plate. You can certainly rotate your plates back and forth so that it helps with the warpage. You can move your die and cut it up here once, and then move it over here and cut it there, and cut it down here, and then flip it over and do the same to keep the warpage down. But eventually this is going to be so cut into that it's no longer transparent. You won't be able to see through it. It'll have so many cuts in it. And we use our plates until they literally crack. I mean, there's got to be a reason for me not to use a plate. I'll use it until there's just, it's got no more to give. So a do not cut plate allows that if you have a warped plate on the bottom, it gives you a nice flat plate on top to send your die through and make it a little easier. These are not intricate. These are very simple dies. So I can go forward, and that should have done the cut. I'm going to roll it back just for ease because I'm going to have to take it back anyway. These are very simple dies, not hard. And it's done. Now what I want you to see is score lines. There's 2 score lines on each flap. 2 score lines. And the score lines are here on the die. When the die has a ridge that is raised and you can really feel it, that's a cut line. But then if it's got kind of a softer edge, a softer raised line, they call that a score line. And that's going to put a scored edge in there because it's meant to be folded. So I've got my score lines here and here. And I can see them. I don't know if you can see them, but I can certainly see them. And that tells me that I want to fold on those lines. Now you are going to probably use a bone folder or a ruler. I've got my tweezers here. I want a really good score. So I'm going to go back and forth. You want to use a paper that is not going to crack. So a solid core cardstock is a good paper because it's the same color all the way through. A white core paper is something you probably wouldn't want to use because as you fold it, on the edges you may see the white paper, and I mean, that could be fine if that's what you're going for, but if you don't want to see white edges, you don't want to use perhaps a white core paper. And almost every double-sided patterned paper on the market, whether it be by Doodlebug or by Lawn Fawn or by reprint paper or paper favorites, if it's double-sided, then it's got a white core to it. And if it's single-sided, you just turn it over, and if it's white on the back, you know that that paper started as white paper and they printed the pattern on it. So I'm just going to score all of these. And then to put it together, you can use liquid glue. You can. I'm not going to. I don't have the patience to sit there and hold a project in place for a liquid glue. Okay, so I think I've got these pretty scored. And you can see they've got little tabs on the sides. Those tabs need to be scored too. So when you fold everything in onto itself, the little tabs fold into the corners. And in no time at all, you will have made a cute little shadow box. So let's do that. But I'm going to use Stacy tape to tape this down. So I'm going to grab my 1/4 inch Stacy tape. Don't use 1/8 inch, use 1/4 inch. If you're using a double-sided tape, use 1/4 inch. It fits perfectly, and if it runs a little bit over, it's okay. It's double-sided tape. I'm going to go from edge to edge on my bottom score. So here's I've got 2 score lines. I've got one right here where this will fold down, and then I've got this bottom score where that will fold down. You're going to put your tape right on that bottom, closest to the base of your shadow box. And I'm just going to run tape all the way around. And where I have the tabs, I'm going to make sure my tape covers it. Now, I'm not going to sit there and try to cut that tape to that size. No, it's double-sided tape. I'll just fold it right back on into itself. There, close enough. I'm just going to fold that right back onto itself. And this is Stacy tape, so you know it's great tape, but you can tear it. It's not it's terrible tape, meaning that you don't have to use scissors with it. Okay, I think I'm ready to start. I want to make sure my tabs fold in. So I have only used 4 pieces of tape. That's all I've done, 4 pieces of tape. If you can use 4 pieces of tape, you can build this box. So I'm going to pull off my tape, and where it ran over, I'm just going to push it right onto the other side. So there's a little bit of tape on both sides of my tab. A little bit on the front side and a little bit on the back side. And I'm going to pull this one off. And I'm going to pull this one off. And I'm going to wrap that tape around the back sides of my tabs. Right around the back sides. And then the last one. Now I get to start building. So I'm going to start building a box. And I put my tab. My tab is going onto the inside. It just kind of folds into itself. Tab's going on the inside. And then I just fold this down onto it. Bam! There's my first corner. Tab on the inside. And because I've got Stacy tape on both sides of my tab, it's going to hold it. Look at how easy is this. And then my last one. Done. Ta-da! I mean, it really is very, very simple. And the ways these are meant to be used is you can use it kind of as a canvas and put something here, or you can use it as a shadow box and put something there. And remember, it comes with the dies. So this die is going to fit. Die is going to fit right in there. Easy peasy mac and cheesy. So if I want to cut something, what do I want to cut? What do I have over here? Oh, I hate to use that one, but maybe I will. Suppose I could use this. That's a pretty piece, right? I could die cut that. Okay, I'm just going to cut this out. Now, if I really wanted to, I could put this in here and then wrap it around the whole thing so that you don't even see the color of the box. But let's play with the die. Because they gave it to us, right? I could just take this and put some Nori paste down and I could wrap the whole box in washi tape and you'd have no idea. All right, so let's decide what we're gonna cut. I think that's pretty. Move it over here. Send it on through. Easy peasy mac and cheesy, but I'm also, and I might save this because I may take this and wrap it around the outside. We'll see. I'm not throwing that away, no way, no how. But I am going to cut a piece of white paper in the exact same size because I'm going to white back it. Okay, so not white backed. White backed. You decide which you like better. This is not quite as bright because it's picking up the red from underneath. This is brighter because it's got the white. You're just adding a base coat is all you're doing. And let's grab the Nori Paste. And I'm gonna go zoop and zoop. And just do these edges. And then lay it on down. And then it's ready to go in. So let's put it in. So you can make a I could have done it this way and put it on the outside of the box and had that kind of like a canvas. Could have done it that way. I'm going to do it this way. Because remember, I said when we started, some of you are going to want to do something from start to finish and make it your own. Well, this is it. In case you didn't know, this is it. Okay. Nori Paste right in place. Fabulous. Now, let's take another sheet of paper, different color so we follow along. That way there's no confusion. And so how about this light pink? That way you follow along and you can see the difference. I'm going to cut my die again. Bring over my machine. I've got my base platform. I've got my solo shim that comes with the machine for wafer cut dies. I've got my paper and my die. Oh, got my cut plate. Then my paper, then my die. Doesn't have to be centered, doesn't have to be straight. I'm just cutting pink paper. That's all I'm cutting is pink paper. Roll it through once. Absolutely enough to cut it. Score it. But before I score it, I'm going to do one more cut. Remember this one? We took this one to cut there, right? Now I'm going to use it to cut a window. So I'm going to give a quick score just so I can be sure where my lines are. And I'm going to cut a window out. I'm going to cut a window. A magnetic platform here would be helpful if you wanted to keep that window exactly centered. Do you have to have a magnetic platform? No, I'm doing it without it right now. Can you use washi tape to tape it down to keep it in place? Absolutely. I am a girl that flies by the seat of her pants. I'm going to make a lid for my box. Now, I do both my folds. All my scoring. Make sure my scores are really good. That's really important. And this is a super tight fit. I mean, I didn't leave much as a frame. When I put this all together, I left it as big of an opening as I could. But you have to remember, they gave you several. You have 4 different sizes. What if I took the next size down? Let's move this one off to the side and let's grab that pink paper again. I might use that. And let's grab my die again. Let's send it through my machine. Roll it. Really only takes once, but because I'm gonna have to bring it over anyway, I might as well wheel it on back. Now I can clearly see my score lines. I really can. And this is the die that's the next size down. So I can center that. And now I'm going to have a slightly smaller window. Or if I wanted a smaller window, it's what size window you want available, you want to see. So I'm going to center that because I can clearly see my score lines. Kind of. We're going to go for it. It's only paper. And I'm going to send it on through. And remember, this was the size window I cut the first time. This is the size window I cut the second time. It's smaller. So, same thing. Score my lines. I was crooked, but that's okay. Score my lines. Feels a little off. There we go. And then 4 pieces of tape. So I'll make sure these are really scored well. I know you guys are probably using a bone folder. And let's get my tape. So 1/4 inch tape. And I'm going to go side to side. And if it hangs over on my little tabbies, I'm going to be just fine with that. I'm just going to wrap it around the back side, giving my box a little extra strength. And I don't have to be exactly on the score line either. Because it's double-sided tape, it'll just fold right into itself. So if you're worried about, did I get it exactly on the score line? Don't worry about it. It's fine. Put this one back and put that one there. And that one there. All right. So now I pull them all off. 4 pieces of tape, that's it. If you've got 4 pieces of tape, you can do this. And where the extra tape is, where I have extra tape, I'm just gonna wrap it right around, right on my little tab. That way it has a little tape on both sides and holds both sides. Take all pieces off. And then you can begin to fold. So I want my little tabby to go in there. And fold down. And this one all folds down. And then my little tabby to go in there. And then fold down. A little tabby to go in there. And then fold down. And then my little tabby in there. And then my last fold. 4 pieces of tape. You've got this. And then just make sure all my score lines are nice and beautiful. My window is not perfectly centered, but that's okay. The last thing I'm going to do to this thing is put a piece of acetate in there. So let's just take a piece of acetate. And I know I need it to be the biggest window. I know I need it to be at least the size of the biggest window. So I'm not even going to bother to die cut. I'm just gonna go zoop and zoop. I just need a piece of acetate that's going to fit in my square to make my window. It doesn't have to be perfect. Once it's down and sealed, nobody gonna see it. Can you die cut acetate? Yes. It's gonna make some creaks and it's gonna make some cracks. But I don't want you to think you have to die cut it to the exact size. You just need it big enough to cover that window. Acetate down, die down. Now we're asking it to go through plastic. See, told you there'd be some creaks and cracks. And I might rotate it for good, just to be sure, and then send it back. So it's not paper that we're cutting, it's plastic. Little creaks and cracks are okay. If it wasn't creaking and cracking and you were doing acetate, I'd be worried. And then you're gonna need to just kinda pop it on out. Come on. Oh, that one didn't want to cut. All right, so I'm just gonna go zoop, and done, and zoop, zoop. Okay, done. But I just free-handed mine. And then I can put a little bit of adhesive down. Whether I want to use a little liquid or some of my Stacy tape, or you can use a little bit of Nori Paste if you want. It's whatever's going to get it down for you. I've got a window. Then it's up to me what to do next. I probably should have used Stacy tape because that Nori paste is going to take a few minutes for it to dry. Probably should have used Stacy tape to put it down because that's going to take it a few minutes to dry. But ultimately, what I'm going to want to do is add in some of my sequins. And then put my lid on. Now they are the exact same size, so it's going to be a little bit of a fit. And you're going to have to kind of squeeze and push that side, the corner in, to get it in and done. But I wanted to make a box, but there's not a top and a bottom. Oh yeah, that Nori paste is still wet. Should have used my Stacy tape. That would have been better. I could have gotten this done and in. So if you want to make your shaker from scratch, you can. You just need the dies. And I didn't have a top and a bottom. I didn't. I only have the one size, but it absolutely works. And I did everything. I made it look just like this. This is easy peasy mac and cheesy. Go play and color and pick your rice paper and paint and whatever makes your heart happy. This one's a little more creative. This one takes a little bit more time. There's fabulous shapes to it. I would go ahead and I would absolutely tape my edges, my sides together. That way, once they're together, my Nori paste is still wet, but that way, once they're together, you've got a beautifully squared box, and it really is all about the scoring. The better you score, the better it will fit together. But look at how cute is this? And I did it using a die from Creative Expressions. And again, I could have used this side and put something very pretty. Gosh, I could take that center that I cut out of there and I could put it there, and then I could put my to and my from. I mean, you have options. I could have done the entire thing out of the rice paper. I could come back here and I could piece together the rice paper to go over the top of the pink. Sure, absolutely, why not? I could cut it there, cut it here. You saw how I pieced it together here to where you would never even know that I took scraps and pulled them together. That's the beautiful thing about rice paper, is that you can take that little bit of a scrap right there, cut that little piece off and add it right on, and nobody would ever know that it didn't come with the box, the whole sheet. You lay them over the top of each other and they just melt away into each other. It is truly amazing. Rice paper is wonderful. But I wanted to give you an opportunity. So this is for a lot of people. These are done, these are easy, these are ready. I want to shake it, but I didn't make it a shaker. These are done, these are easy, these are doable. You saw me put the rice paper in there, a little bit of paint, and bam, you're done. I didn't even use glue. I used sticky dots to put them together. So for a lot of people, this is happiness right here. This is, I can do it. But there's some of you out there that are like, yeah, I know I can do that, but I want to do them myself. I want to add my own little element to it. And then I could take the word that it came with. I could take the word that it came with. I could die cut the word, put the word in there. I could put a picture in here. I could put a photo in there. I could put, I mean, there's just so many different little things you can do. I can make it into a little ornament. I can make it into a magnet. What is it that's going to make your heart happy? You have options. It's an SMS YouTube. It really is determined by how much effort you want to, and how much time, and how much money. Okay, let's be real. I mean, let's get down to brass tacks, shall we, people? Because this is me. This die is a $22 die. It'll be on sale, so it'll be 20% off. So that's what, $4.40 off? So that makes it what, $17.60? Is that close? Am I close? But it's a $22 die. You can get that, or you can get, these are $3.99 less 20%, so that's 80 cents off, so that makes them $3.20. So you can get, what, 5 of these for about the price of this. This you will have forever and ever. You will. You'll use it. You'll have it. But if you really just want to make a handful of these, maybe this is a better option. Or what if you don't have a die cutting machine? What if you are new to crafting and you haven't decided to invest into a die cutting machine? Not until you're sure and you're ready. Get the pre-made ones. They're darling, they're simple, they're easy, they're doable. Everybody can do them. But if you are a old time, been around since the beginning of time, I've been crafting since since papyrus paper was out. That'd be old Egyptian paper, where you made your paper. Then maybe you do want to invest in the dies, and maybe you do want to have something that you can pull out anytime, make it any pattern paper, make it any color. You have options. I don't know, but I didn't want to give everybody the chance to play. And the pre-mades from Clear Scraps, gives you the chance to play. But if you've played away, you've done that, been there, you're ready for a challenge. You're ready. I accept, Stacy. I'm gonna do these. Can you imagine how darling these are gonna be? All the little different things you could put in them. Oh my gosh, so cute. All right. We did a ton today. I mean, a ton today. We started way back when. And remember, you can't use white paper unless you do the whole thing in white, because you can see where the white stops and the paper starts. You don't want that demarcation line. That's not good. So we started with just doing two of the exact same card. One that was backed in white paint on the, right on the white paint. Right on the back of the rice paper. Gosh, I shouldn't have done that. I should have gone ahead and tore it. Okay, so remember, rice paper, you need to get it wet. And getting it wet is going to allow you to make that beautiful soft edge. And you don't have to get your paper soaking wet. I'm just using my mister, a little bit there. Literally just paint it on. The water evaporates, it's okay. You get it a little too wet, no big deal. All you want to do is be able to tear and make that beautiful soft edge. And just tear, tear, tear. If the paper's not tearing easy, add a little more paper. Rice paper is nothing to be afraid of. It's one of the most forgiving things out there because of that beautiful soft edge and how it just kind of disappears when you're using it. You're not good with scissors? No problem. Tear. And then take it, and let's find a pretty piece of paper real quick. Come on. Take that white paint, whosever white paint you have, because if I do this here, it looks good, but it's going to look so much better if I just take a little white paint. Anytime you use rice paper, if you have the opportunity to back it, then back it. And I don't want it to have really strong demarcation lines. I want it to kind of look haphazard. Otherwise, I might as well just take white paper and do it. But I want it to kind of disappear. And then put it onto your paper. That is so beautiful. That is so beautiful. And it looks so much better than just on the blue itself. It just stands out so much better. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we start, and then I would take my Nori paste and do my edges so that my edges are all down. So we started there, and we did the two that are the same, one backed, one not. And then if you don't want to do the soft edges, not a problem. Then you can take a piece of white paper and back the whole thing. But if you're doing the soft edges, that's a no can do. So this one is not backed with soft edges. This one is backed with soft edges. So I didn't put any white paint behind here, but I put a whole piece of white paper behind there. And look at the vibrancy, look at the difference in the color. Absolutely. So we did that. Then we moved on to the beautiful shakers, and easy peasy. And you can make just a tag. This would make a lovely luggage tag for somebody, or a bookmark, or a magnet for the refrigerator. You can put a picture of somebody, you know, your kid's school picture for grandma, whatever you want to do. They're easy to put together, and these are the two exclusive shapes. The only place you're going to find the oval and the tag are Scrapbooking Made Simple. We're the only place that has them. And remember, they give you everything that you need. It's all there for you. From the back piece that we use to put the the beautiful paper down with, the beautiful rice paper from Ciao Bella. Then you have 2 pieces to determine how thick yours is. If you're just using a picture, maybe you just want 1. But if you want to put in doodads and sequins, then you're going to add the 2. And then you're going to put down your acrylic after you take off both pieces of the liner from both sides so it becomes crystal clear. And then last but not least, you add your top piece. And there you go. And I didn't use any glue at all. I used sticky dots. Didn't use any glue at all to do it. I used sticky dots. All done with sticky dots. So we did that. Then we moved into more difficult. We moved into actually making boxes and finishing boxes. And now I don't know that I can get it open because of the nori paste. Okay, well, we're not even going to try. And making different lids for our boxes and taking the Creative Expressions dies and utilizing them to make our own shakers and our own shadow boxes. Or you flip it around and you just use one. You don't have to use a lid, and you make it like it's a mini canvas. And they've given you all the layering pieces to go with it, and they threw a word in too. Thank you for using the space that you were given. We greatly appreciate it. There are the large size, which are the new ones. So how do you know if they're new or old? The new ones are in the I Want It All bundle, and they have the word. If it has a word on it, it's new. If it's not, it's older. And there is a substantial size difference between them. I also want to tell you with Creative Expressions, if you open the packaging, they give you sample ideas. Isn't that nice? Right? I mean, who does that? I love that about them. They give you sample ideas. It's just wonderful. Look at, see here, they used them as like a canvas. Here they used them as a shadow box. Look at how cute. They give you ideas inside their packaging. So don't just toss it, because you don't want to throw away. Maybe you're having a block and you just take a gander at these and it's like, oh, how beautiful is that card? Oh my gosh. Yep, you can do this. All right, so what's on sale? Well, shucks. Holy smokes, artichokes. Okay, the Nori Paste is on sale from Yasutomo. All of the new shakers, and mind you, like I said, the oval and the tag are exclusive to Scrapbooking Made Simple. You'll only get them here. But they have a cute scallop, and they have a rectangle, and they have a postage, like a clipped edge. And these are meant to be used like I used them, or you can get pre-printed paper from your favorite manufacturer and get the sheets that have all the different blocks, the 4x3 blocks, I believe, or 2x3 blocks, and that paper cuts right in and fits right into it. That's what those were originally designed for. But then they've also got your squares and your circles. So a whole collection of these, brand new, and the 2 exclusive just to Scrapbooking Made Simple. So those are on sale. My Simply Defined is on sale. I have all the Sizzix paints. And there's 15 different colors. If you don't have white, at very least, get your white. Just get it and be done. But the colors are beautiful, and they seem to go with the rice paper beautifully. I don't know, the Ciao Bella rice paper, these colors just really lended to it. So that's why we went with Sizzix. They just really lended to all the rice paper that I brought in. So all of the Sizzix paints will be on sale. How about the rice paper? Oh my gosh, I have so many sheets of rice paper that are on sale. I can't even show them all to you. I've just got sheet after sheet after sheet after sheet of rice paper We bought all Ciao Bella had. And it's coming in from Italy. And yes, for guys, absolutely. And that's the one that I used earlier. And how, I mean, they're just beautiful, beautiful. And you cut them up and you splice them together and you make your heart happy. We made samples with all of this. So oodles and oodles of rice paper. Then I have the Creative Expressions dies. So we have the originals, the smaller ones. So these are the small ones. They don't have the word, but I want to say there's, I think, 8 different small ones. They're a lower price, but they are very small. I'm just letting you know. I don't want you to get them and be shocked. When you make them, they're going to be so super cute, but they're going to be teeny tiny. So I want you to be aware that these are much smaller than the ones I was playing with today. The ones I was playing with today, there's only 5 of them. So there's the square that I was using, and it actually makes a usable size. And we'll show you, we have samples with all of them. They make a usable size. These are all on sale. This one's cherished. Look at, see, that's a usable size. The octagon is so cute. The girls, the SMS girls did great things with the octagon. And then because the SMS girls used so many of Ozzy Andrews' dies for the sentiments, I kept them on a YouTube Yummy. So I did these last week. And these are where you get everything you see. The shadow, the word, the extras, all the little doohickeys. Each set retails for $10. But we have them on an I Want It All if we still have any left for $8. So for $8 you get all of this. You get the word, you get the shadow, you get all of the words to go with it, you get the butterfly. All of that for $8 from Couture Creations, and this was a worldwide launch. And I don't know what's left. So if there's any out there still to be had, they'll be part of this YouTube. I mean, to get everything is amazing for $8. Can't go wrong with those. All right, so did I get everything? I think I did. Okay, let's show samples, shall we? And let's start with the boxes. Yeah, let's start with the boxes. Look at how cute is that? So you can pop this right off, make it into a magnet, give them a little magnet sheet that they can put on the back of it. And that says family in there. And they can pop that off and make that into a magnet. So cute. And who doesn't love dimension? Look at that. Is that awesome? All onto a slimline. There's the love from Ozzy Andrew. Great little shaker. Here's the smile from Ozzy Andrew. There's one of the octagons, the large octagon. So all the samples we did were with the large size dies. We didn't do anything with the small ones. Here's Dream. So Dream is a die that comes with the boxes. This is the square that I was using today with the paper on the inside. All of these are using the rice paper on the inside. Isn't that so cute? And it's got Dream up here. Again, pop it off and they make a great little, you got a Tuscan kitchen, a lemon kitchen, make a great little magnet for the refrigerator. And here's the word love that comes with it. And here's your box. So yeah, we made cards out of them. These are hand them to your peeps cards. These are not put in the mail cards. I think Oprah Winfrey had sit-in shoes. So she had beautiful shoes, but she would never walk in them. You couldn't walk in them, but they were beautiful to look at. They were sit-in shoes. These are handing cards. How cute is that? Isn't that darling? See, and here they took a bit of the rice paper and went over the octagon with it, and they've got the rice paper on the inside. And here Doris made a, look at that. She took and covered up almost the entire bit of the octagon. So you just have a little hole in the wreath where the sequins are. Isn't that so, gosh, Doris, did you? Okay, you just put white, thank you, I appreciate that. Did you do it on any of the others? Nobody put tabs. If you did, I don't know. Nobody put tabs. How cute is that, right? Cute little shaker. So these were all done with the dies from Creative Expressions. Then I have these. These are all done with the Clear Scraps shakers. Now I didn't make this one into a shaker. This is just beautiful. That would be beautiful on somebody's refrigerator or on their desk, or, I mean, that's just, it's beautiful. I love them. And then look at this one. I think I showed you this one in the beginning. And again, they can pop the shaker right off. How cute is that? Little tie. All done with the Sizzix paint. And look at this. See, I think it's more copper than rose gold, but that looks gorgeous with this. And the teal bling, oh my gosh, that looks amazing. Love it. Oh, love, love, love. And then look at this one. Heartfelt thanks. So you've got the rice paper on the card, you've got the rice paper on the inside, you've got a shaker ready to go. And heartfelt thanks from Ozzy Andrew. And then happy birthday, done in the golds. And you've got clocks in there from the rice paper. Such a grown-up masculine card. Great card. And we go from masculine and dark to bright and happy. Thank you. And look at them. Thank you. Ozzy Andrews, thank you. You've got the rice paper. You've got the shaker. Absolutely. And then the last thing I'm going to show you are card samples. So I showed you this one in the beginning, the hello, done with the rice paper and Ozzy Andrews sentiment. That's his hello. For $8 you get that and a whole lot more. And then I've got a couple where I was just playing. So here's white backed and here's not white backed. Couple where I was just playing. Here's white backed. Isn't that so pretty? Now what are you going to do with it? I got it this far. You got to take it and finish it. What are you going to do with it? This one is white backed. And then look at the guy cards. From one sheet you get 4 guy cards. Sending Sunshine, that's from Ozzy Andrew. Isn't that so pretty? All rice paper. Rice paper, slimline, white backed. So Claire kind of tore the white paper and then edged it. Because I did this one as a sample. I was playing with the Nori Paste. And I said, oh, make a card. And she said, okay. How about congratulations? This is literally just cut and put down. It's that simple and that easy. It doesn't have to be more than this unless you want it to be. Somebody's going to think that this card is stunning. And it was simple. Look at how simple is this. Sometimes we overthink and overwork. When really, elegant and simple is okay. You can do extraordinary cards. Absolutely, where it takes you 4.5 hours to do one card. But it's also okay to do 4 cards an hour. It's okay. Some people are going to be dazzled with all the intricacies you put in it, and other people are absolutely going to cry when you give them this because you made it. Simple is good. Over the top is good. It just depends upon who you're making it for and how much effort you're going to put into it. Nailed it. That's from Ozzy Andrew. Those are part of his, I think his congrats dies or something like that. It's part of the set. Nailed it. All right, you guys. Oh, wait. I better not forget this time. I have 2 layouts. If I forgot, oh my gosh, I don't think I'd ever live it down. Let me scroll on back. So first I have one from Claire where she's put the box in and put smile, and it's a shaker. You've got little doodads. I'd put more doodads. I like doodads. And then she has used the mats from, so these were the dies that went with some of the boxes. These are the nesting dies that they gave you. Pretty, right? So Claire just did a very simple layout using the dies that came with the boxes, and she put a little shaker together for you. And then Elena did one where, again, she used the nesting dies for the hexagon. These are the extra dies that you get for that hexagon die. You don't have to use them with just the shakers or just the boxes. And then these are the words from some of the dies as well. In fact, is this the, yeah, so here's the hexagon. Here are the nesting dies. And here they are here. So Elena put this one together, and she did it in bing, bang, boom. Let me tell you, it took her like no time at all, which nauseates me because it would take me at least 4 hours to pick the paper. At least, let's be clear, okay? I know my strengths and my weaknesses. I think it took her like 15 minutes to put that together. I'm like, oh, Elena, if only. So, all right, you guys, I told you it was a lot of technique. It's a long class, but it is a class. It's not a demo. It's not a, here's something new, let me throw it together and surprise. It's a class, and since many of you can't get to classes right now, and we don't charge for you to watch them, they're free. We would like you to subscribe so we can get to our 100,000 followers, but we just want you to craft. That's all. If you keep crafting, no matter who you watch or whom you buy from, it just doesn't matter. What matters is that you keep our hobby going. And if I can reach one of you who was kind of on the fence about even trying, then I have done my job as a teacher. We want you to explore and create and learn and grow into a community that is just waiting for you. The crafting community is amazing. So it is me, Stacy, Scrapbooking Made Simple, scrapbookingmadesimple.com. Where are you going to buy all of this stuff? Well, gosh, the creative expressions dies you may be able to find elsewhere. The exclusive products, though, are here. So the Ozzy Andrew dies and the exclusive tags from Clear Scraps. And I don't know about rice paper, but I know we have an amazing selection for you. So if you can shop your local retailer, shop your local retailer. If you can't, we look forward to seeing you online. All right, you guys, I will see you all next week. Bye.